Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's ceremony. Throughout today's event, you'll be given cues to stand and be seated. Please silence all electronic devices at this time. The ceremony will begin shortly. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Senior Master Sergeant Richard Avery from the 153rd Logistics Readiness Squadron, and I'm honored to be your MC for today's events. Welcome to our combined ceremony, which includes the Assistant Air General Air Change of Command, followed by the retirement of Colonel Paul Lyman. The presiding officer is Major General Gregory C. Porter, the Adjutant General, Wyoming National Guard. The change of command ceremony is rooted in military history dating back to at least the 18th century during the reign of Frederick the Great of Prussia. During this period, military organizational flags were developed with color arrangements and symbols unique to each particular unit. When soldiers followed their leaders into battle, their flags were used to provide a visible point around which members of the unit could rally during the heat of battle. In this manner, an effective mass of force could be gathered and employed. If the flag was still waving after conflict, it was a sign that their side had not tasted defeat on the battlefield. Because of its importance, the flag was incorporated into the change of command ceremony. The organizational banner was exchanged in public to signify to all the person receiving the flag was the unchallenged and sovereign leader. The modern-day ceremony is principally symbolic, yet it indicates to all the authority of the incoming commander in the finest of military traditions. The incoming commander accepts the flag and states, "Sir, I assume command." Only 4 words in all, but a clear beginning to command. Today, Colonel Paul Lyman will relinquish command and Brigadier General Hughes will accept command of the Wyoming National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of ruffles and flourishes, the singing of the national anthem by Major Rusty Ridley and Major Carly Allen, and the invocation by Chaplain Christopher Lyman.
Dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I invite you to stand at ease and join me in a word of prayer if you wish. Gracious Father, thank you for this day and for the opportunity to celebrate the career of one leader and welcome another. It is written, where there is no guidance, the people fail, but in the abundance of counselors, there is victory. We thank you for the blessing of our leader and leader-to-be. As General Hughes takes command, we pray for wisdom and discernment to this task he has been called and entrusted to carry on the mission. Guide him through the transition and equip him with a freshness of spirit and a determined focus in the midst of any uncertainty. We pray for all those who took leadership this week, from Washington to Wyoming. As Colonel Lyman moves into the next phase of life, guide him in the new opportunities and direct him on the path you have made for him. Lord, continue to watch over our country, our state, our airmen, and our soldiers. We ask for continued provision and guidance. Bless our time together. In the name above all names, amen.
Thank you, Major Ridley, Major Allen, and Chaplain Lyman. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce the family members of the official party. Please hold your applause until all names have been announced. Major General Porter's wife, Robin, Colonel Lyman's wife, Jackie, and their children, Kylie and Matt. I would also like to introduce our distinguished guests in attendance with us today. Please hold your applause until all names have been announced. Major General Luke Reiner, retired, former Adjutant General and Director of Wyoming Department of Transportation. Brigadier General Brian Nesbitt, Assistant Adjutant General, Army. Brigadier General Steve Alkier, Director of the Joint Staff. Brigadier General Kathy Wright, retired. Brigadier General Steve Rader, retired. Brigadier General Eric Mann, retired. Colonel David Herter, Chief of the Joint Staff. Colonel Justin Walrath, Air Liaison Officer. Colonel John Ogle, State Air Surgeon. Colonel Darrell Funn, State Judge Advocate General. Colonel Barry Dybert, 153rd Airlift Wing Commander. Colonel Michelle Mulberry, 153rd Airlift Wing Vice Commander. Chief Master Sergeant Josh Moore, State Command Chief. Chief Master Sergeant Darren Nogle, Wing Command Chief. Colonel Dennis Grunstad, retired, and his wife Terry. Colonel Scott Fox, retired, and his wife Megan. Colonel Jeff Story, retired. Colonel Shelley Campbell, retired. Colonel Chris Smith, retired. Colonel Pete Lindy, retired. Additionally, we would like to welcome all other colonels, commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, retirees, community partners, family and friends, and others who've taken time out of their busy day to share in this special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer of today's ceremonies, Major General Gregory Porter, the Adjutant General.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, everybody, for being here today. I'll try to keep my comments short. I understand that the acoustics are tough to listen to in this big cavern, and as a result, I probably won't do the justice these two men and the folks in the office or in the audience deserve. Hey, listen, I want to start off by thanking the families first, and let me start off with General Hughes, your family, your wife Marjorie, who I think is joining us out there on Facebook. It's a grind to support, especially Gene. I mean, he takes a lot of support, and you couldn't have done it without your continued efforts and determination to ensure he succeeds. And it's tough. It's tough for him to have the dual hat position that he's got, come out here, be a teacher of his son in this COVID environment. I mean, that's tough. And Marjorie, having worn the uniform yourself, what service means. But I just want to tell you and all the family for General Hughes, thank you for allowing him to continue to serve and continue to be the leader that he has been, and continue that on. So thank you very much to you, General Hughes, and your wife. Hey, I wanted to say thank you to Jackie and the family. He's been doing this a long time and absolutely couldn't do it without your support. And there's a lot of important decisions and birthdays and special events that he wasn't able to be there for, that you had to step in and take that. And your service is, even though you didn't raise your right hand when he swore the oath, is every bit as important and critical to his success. And we're going to return him to you. I don't know if that's a great thing. He's, idle hands, he's going to get into trouble. You're going to have to deal with that. But he absolutely couldn't have done it without you. And again, for all the members out here in the audience in the state of Wyoming, thank you for allowing him to serve. Appreciate it. So I want to just talk a little bit about Wyoming National Guard Commander, and then I'll get off of here. It's a significant position. There are really two things as the commander that you have to do. And the first one is lead your airmen during times of war and emergency. And the second one is prepare your airmen for those times. And that's two simple things, two simple tasks that are incredibly difficult to accomplish. And it takes some special people to do that. We've been at war a little over 21 years now, since 9/11. And we've had probably 6 Wyoming Air National Guard commanders in that time, each one of them bringing their own special skills and strengths. We'll continue that today by recognizing Colonel Lyman for the job that he has done as the commander, and welcoming General Hughes. Command is an interesting, it's a privilege. Having the sons and daughters that wear the cloth of our nation serving, and having the decisions on their well-being resting in one person's hands is a significant event. Commanders live to make those big decisions. That's what they strive for. To commit the reserve, to take that risk, to make those ultimate decisions that mean about life or death. But I tell you, in a command, particularly as the Wyoming Air Guard, you probably only do that 4 or 5 times in your career. The real grind on commanders and the real stress of command is all that other stuff, all that everyday things that it takes for commanders to do. To get back up again when one of your airmen has taken his life. To continue to set the standard, set the culture, set the priorities every day. That's what grinds commanders down. And Gene, before, I've given you such a pep talk here with this one. I'll tell you that the reward, though, is incredible, because you get to have the ability to make sure that those airmen accomplish missions, that they serve for interests greater than themselves. And the privilege to be able to do that is something we don't take lightly. Napoleon said, an army of lions cannot be commanded by a deer and remain an army of lions. Today, we're going to recognize a couple of lions for the work that they've done. General Hughes, look very much forward to your time here as the commander. It's a privilege, and I have no doubt that you're going to excel. You are a lion, and I look very much forward to our service together in the upcoming years. Colonel Lyman, your time here in command is done. You have so much to be proud of, so much of a legacy that you've left the airmen here in Wyoming. I can't thank you again for your sacrifices and what you've done. It's incredible. Thank you to both of you for what you've done and what you will continue to do. Ride for the brand. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, General Porter. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to introduce the outgoing commander of the Wyoming Air National Guard, Colonel Paul Lyman.
So I guess I'm a lion. Hear me roar. Okay, so protocol says that the outgoing commander gets to pick the uniform you wear at these events. And I know I've got a lot of civilian friends out there, and you're saying, what, you don't have the blues on today. So General Hughes did not pick the blues. He deferred to me because it's my retirement right after this. So I wanted to retire kind of the way I came in my flight suit. So that's why we are in our working uniform today. So it's pretty cool. Besides picking the uniform, I also got to pick or ask them, and they all said yes, the A-team to work this event. And I just want to take a little time to thank them. First, Sergeant Avery, you've done a couple of these for me. You always do a phenomenal job. Thank you for doing that. I want a round of applause for Major Allen and Major Ridley, a couple rock stars that work up there for the national anthem. They did a great job. Chaplain Lyman, thanks for the kind words and the prayer, and thank you, ushers. I swear, boss, it's like we coordinated on our words here, and I didn't really mean to do that. You know, to be a military commander at any level, it's a great honor and a privilege. But with that honor and privilege is a tremendous responsibility, and I never took that responsibility lightly. I had the privilege of commanding at 4 different levels, at the squadron, group, wing, and now at the state level. And every time I did that, I was like, I'm not doing that again. You know, I'm never going to move up. That's it. I'm done. Because it does. It wears you out, and it's a grind. And I'm happy to say today, I will never move up again and never do another thing, because I'm already officially retired. So this is it. This is all we get. The last 3 years have really been the honor of my life, commanding the Wyoming Air Guard, because the Wyoming Air Guard is a special place, and Wyoming is a special place. And you could say it's beautiful, and it is, but what makes this place special is the people. The people really make it special. And if you're in uniform and you walk around Cheyenne, Wyoming, it doesn't matter where you go, young or old, liberal, conservative, people with purple hair, dyed, tattoos, bikers, old retirees, they all thank you for your service. And that's really special, because they know what it truly means to serve in uniform and what it's like to serve, and they truly appreciate us in uniform, and that's really special. And with that, you know, as a Guard, we're a reflection of the people that we serve, and the Wyoming Airmen are absolutely phenomenal. They're the most patriotic people we have, and really the cowboy code of ethics. I mean, there is, you know, you hear that thing, get her done. Well, we get her done like every single day. And it's really been an honor and a privilege to serve with these people. I just want to talk about a few things over the last 3 years very quickly. Operational, what we've done. We had an AMC inspection, which a few years before the actual inspection, we didn't do that well. But we reworked some stuff, we worked it hard, and thanks to Colonel Walrath's leadership, we did a phenomenal job. They said we were one of the best units out there. So Colonel Walrath, you and your team, and all the airmen of the Wyoming Air Guard, thank you so much. Last couple years, we did a huge operations deployment and agile combat support. That's a support with the support people besides the people that fly the airplanes. It was the biggest deployment, combined deployment we've ever had, and oh, by the way, we had a 100-year pandemic and they did it. So Walrath, and Dibert, phenomenal job. You guys did virtual drills. We kept our readiness. You kept everything going. I couldn't be prouder of what you did. Domestically, we talked about it, but we filled in on the state COVID response task force. We did hospital support. We did civil unrest support in Casper, although I don't know who would riot in Wyoming. I think you'd be crazy to do that. That's supposed to be a joke. Strategically, I'll just say I'm really proud of our force development, and the Army calls it talent management. We have done a phenomenal job. It's all about training your replacement to make sure that they're going to do the job better than you, and we have that. Like starting at, I know Hughes is going to do a better job than I did. Walrath and Dibert, you guys are a phenomenal job, and really our bench is just full. I look out at the colonels that we have in the team and all the commanders that are here, and you guys are the future, and even the younger officers. Man, we are just chock full of talent. So this organization is in a great spot. Facilities are great. J models. I really wanted J models. We missed it. I think that was a political decision, but we were prepared, and now we have modernized C-130s to take their place, and that's good. Last thing, one thing I got wrong, and it's up to you, Hughes, to get right, is the strength in the manning. So Reiner will tell you and Porter will tell you that I've used every excuse in the book, so there's no more excuses. They've heard them all. So you've got to get the manning up, so that'll be good. And I'll just close with this. We are living right now in some crazy times in this country. And when we do that, you kind of got to turn in and look at your military. And I just want to remind all the airmen out there, you took an oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It's not a political party, it's not a political person, and sometimes I wish our politicians would know and understand that, because even when we deployed our airmen and our soldiers back east, you know, both sides are tearing each other apart, and that's not right. And I know we are in great hands because our airmen are going to do the right thing. Lastly, I'm just going to close with this. I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines. Hopefully I'll get a hobby, and I would like to maybe get into the Wyoming Air Guard Legacy Fund and work that. But it's been truly an honor and pleasure, and thank you all so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Colonel Lyman. We will now proceed with the Wyoming Air National Guard change of command. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. At this time, Colonel Paul Lyman will relinquish command of the Wyoming Air National Guard, and Brigadier General Gene Hughes will assume command. Attention to orders. Special Order GB-21-001 Wyoming. By direction of the President, Brigadier General Gene Hughes assumes command as the Assistant Adjutant General Air, Joint Force Headquarters, Wyoming Air National Guard, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Effective 1 January 2021. Signed, Gregory C. Porter, Major General, Wyoming National Guard, the Adjutant General. At ease. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to introduce the commander of the Wyoming Air National
except for we had this big yellow stripe, and it was the bride's side and the groom's side. And then it kind of dawned on me, it's like, well, there's not really a bride and a groom here, but there's the people that came here voluntarily and wanted to be here, all for Paul Lyman. And then there's these folks who kind of felt obligated to be here. And I realized that's kind of my side. And so two things were very glaringly obvious here, that most of you are here today for the fun ceremony. As the Assistant Adjutant General of the finest Air National Guard in the country. General Porter, sir, thank you for the opportunity and the trust and confidence that you've shown by extending me this opportunity. I don't take the responsibility lightly, and I pledge to give you the best effort that I can give you. For the other distinguished visitors in the crowd and online, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your anticipated support going forward. To Colonel Lyman, for your years of dedicated service and honorable service to the Wyoming Air National Guard. We're going to cover that a lot more in depth right after this, but it's well-deserved, and I look forward to the next ceremony as well. But personally, I want to first thank you for being my wingman when I got to Wyoming. I made the jump a little bit on, and I came out here, and you were my wingman. And with the exception of the very first time I came to headquarters, which you might remember, when you totally walked past me, not once, but I think twice, and didn't even acknowledge the fact I was standing there or make eye contact, or I don't know what you were doing, but it wasn't anything important either. But other than that one time, my very first time, you made me feel like part of the Wyoming Air Guard family from the beginning. I wish you and Jackie all the best in retirement. This isn't goodbye. Obviously, we've made a great friendship, so Marjorie and I might be just a little bit jealous. Most of all, thank you to my family. They couldn't be here today, but they're online. And if I know my family, they've spread the word more than I wanted them to. So I couldn't have done what I've done without you. I absolutely couldn't move forward without you. And I appreciate your never-ending support and the confidence you give me and the encouragement to do this. To the women and men of the Wyoming Air National Guard, you've seen and been through a lot the last few years. You've been busy carrying out critical missions for the state. You've rocked inspections, and many of you have recently deployed to not so glamorous parts of the world. If you didn't deploy this most recent cycle, you probably have before. You'll truly begin to understand and appreciate the oath you took when you voluntarily rose your hand to serve. For those more seasoned, I honestly believe that first-line supervisors have the greatest opportunity to personally and positively impact and develop their people. Take the time to get to know your people. Hear their concerns, share in their successes, and pick them up when they fall. Every airman's an asset, and we must value and include them. Foster the relationships today that build the sacred trust that we depend on when lives are on the line. I wrangled over some brilliant words to come up with to say this, but it kept coming back to the plain and simple. We flat out need more, and we need to create the culture that makes the ones we have want to stay. And by we, I mean all of us, beginning with me. We need to make the conscious effort to tell our Guard story, to talk to friends, to talk to family, to talk to neighbors, but most of all, to talk to strangers. Tell them your story, tell them why you joined, but more importantly, tell them why you stay. People are undoubtedly our most valuable resource. You've seen some large numbers, and there's one right here behind us, on posters and around the buildings and around the base. They give us a visual of our number one priority, and that is strength. What that really means is the authorized number of positions that we need to fill in order to be the most effective, lethal, and ready force the Wyoming Air National Guard can be. And while the boards only show numbers, I want you to know that you're more than a number. You're vital to the success of the wing, the Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force. Without you, we would not be able to answer the call of the governor or the president when we are needed to support and defend the Constitution of Wyoming and the United States. You are important, and we need you now more than ever. We all have an important role to play in TAG's 3 lines of effort: lethality, responsiveness, and partnerships. You are certainly lethal. We recently displayed that on our combat deployments. You are responsive. Think about the airmen that on short notice volunteered to stand side by side with health professionals in Wyoming hospitals to care for the COVID-19 patients. Or most recently, this past week, when on short notice, you not only filled airlift requirements for Wyoming airmen and soldiers, but you also filled them for our neighbor, Colorado. And more importantly, you stood shoulder to shoulder with peers in the capital region to ease the fears of a concerned nation as the greatest seat of power on earth changed hands. You're also a fundamental part of the Guard fabric that is woven with partnerships in the communities in which you reside. You also work and are recognized in those communities as the trusted agent or the trusted authority on all things military. On another level, some of you recently had the opportunity of seeing or participating in our partnership with Tunisia, and that too is certainly an important partnership. It is my honor and privilege to continue to serve in this new capacity. I know you all have the phenomenal talents and the abilities to carry this organization to the next level, and higher levels of achievement, inclusiveness, and belonging, regardless of the aircraft we fly or the missions we might be assigned. Continue to be always ready and always there. And most of all, be proud of your military service. You have every right to be. You are critical to the success of the greatest military that the earth has ever known. Lastly, to the families of our guardsmen, I personally thank you for allowing us to answer the nation's call any day, anytime, anywhere. The sacrifice you make by giving up time that can never be recovered is a debt that is all too often not understood by those who don't serve. You too have answered your nation's call, and you are as much a part of the Guard family as those in uniform. I look forward to continue service with each of you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Brigadier General Hughes. This concludes the change of command portion of today's ceremony. Please give Brigadier General Hughes one more round of applause as we move into the retirement ceremony to honor Colonel Paul Lyman. Colonel Lyman, would you like to introduce your family and friends?
Dad, Ralph and Lorraine, I know they're going to be watching. So very quickly, I've got my lovely wife Jackie, my son Matt, my beautiful daughter Kylie, her boyfriend Ben, my brother, a huge mentor of mine, Dale, his wife Erin, sister-in-law Jen, her husband Brian, my brother-in-law John. Jeez, I knew I was going to lock up. His wife Jo, their son Jake, girlfriend Lacey, daughter Emily, boyfriend Dante, great personal friend Jeff Story, Rhino Page, he was a good friend of mine, flew out from Virginia, D.C. area. Tim and Mia Clancy, got my old boss, Major General Luke Reiner. Thank you, sir, for coming. The Pikes, Tim and Audrey Pike. I always say Audra, I don't know why, but it's Audrey, because I'm not very smart. We've got the, I'll go back to you, sorry. The Gilmores, good golly. So we got the Gilmores, we got the Foxes, we've got the Bakers, we've got the Reinerts. I've got my good friend, who I haven't seen since a friend of our mutual friend's funeral, and his wife I just met, Lori. They flew out from South Carolina. I've got a huge mentor of mine, Danny Grunstad and Terry, Chief Stawinski, great working associate, Steve and Linda Rader, some airmen in the back, thank you for coming. I've got Leadership Wyoming, so I've got Michelle Dehoff, I've got Bryn Elliott, and I think, is that Schoon back there, James Schoon? Here's a coin check for Leadership Wyoming. You guys got yours? All right, I owe you a beer. Come to the party and I'll get you a beer. I've got good friends of mine from Greeley, Ryan Schofield and Amber Denzel. Kathy Wright, General Wright, thank you for coming. Robin, of course, thank you for coming and being here. Great friend of mine, Eric Mann, General Mann, Shelley Campbell, Colonel Campbell, and Colonel Smith. And I think if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. And we've got all the leaders and commanders and the armies in the house, so thanks for being here.
Thank you, Colonel Lyman. At this time, I would like to invite Captain Jackie Stoneham to the stage to provide comments on Colonel Lyman's distinguished military career.
All right, Colonel Lyman joined the United States Air Force in 1988 after he received his commission from the University of Northern Colorado's ROTC program. Upon graduation from ROTC, Colonel Lyman served 10 years on active duty. He joined the Wyoming Air National Guard in 1998. Throughout his career as a navigator, Colonel Lyman accumulated more than 3,000 flying hours in fighter and airlift aircraft. Of his proudest military accomplishments, Colonel Lyman mentions his deployments. Colonel Lyman deployed as an active duty airman and as a Wyoming Guardsman. He flew missions in support of Operations Southern Watch, Iraqi Freedom, and Enduring Freedom. He has more than 430 combat flying hours. Colonel Lyman's assignments in the Wyoming Air National Guard culminated in 3 years as the Assistant Adjutant General Air. His other assignments in Wyoming included C-130 Navigator, Assistant Flight Commander, Commander of the 187th Airlift Squadron, Deputy Operations Group Commander, Director of Air Operations at the Wyoming Joint Force Headquarters, Commander of the 153rd Mission Support Group, Vice Wing Commander, twice, 3 times, Air Liaison Officer at the Wyoming Joint Force Headquarters, and Wing Commander. Colonel Lyman notes that his most memorable assignments were Squadron Command, both here at home station and on deployment, and Wing Command. He is especially proud of the 187th Airlift Squadron's win of the Spatz Trophy and recognition as the Air National Guard's top flying unit in 2006. Rumor has it that he was so excited about that honor that he dropped and subsequently smashed the trophy in front of the entire wing. Colonel Lyman spent most of his Air National Guard career as a traditional guardsman. He is a commercial pilot for JetBlue, and like so many guardsmen, has juggled the demands of 2 challenging careers. Colonel Lyman made the decision to leave active duty and join the Guard because he wanted to find balance with his family. His priority was to be present as his children, Kylie and Matt, grew up. As an active duty airman, Colonel Lyman found himself missing out on important milestones with his family and started looking for that balance. While loving the Air Force and the tremendous experiences and opportunities afforded to him, Colonel Lyman hoped to find greater stability for his family. He says that the recognition of family is one of the best gifts the Guard can offer to airmen. Colonel Lyman found a home in the Wyoming Air National Guard and quickly left his mark. When Colonel Lyman was our wing commander, we would end meetings saying max effort. Colonel Lyman will tell you that this was a mantra he picked up early in his Air Force career. What he asked of airmen in his command was simple. Just give me your best, show up each day willing to do better than yesterday, and don't let mistakes or failure define you. I would like to finish this biography review with a story about Colonel Lyman that I think highlights his character as an officer and a leader. I first worked closely with Colonel Lyman in 2016 when I joined the full-time staff, and he was our wing commander. The full-time position I was selected for required me to retrain as a personnel officer. I attended that school in 2017. When our class reviewed the physical fitness requirements for airmen and our role as personnel officers in the testing process, our retired active duty instructor told us that at many bases we should expect to shut down the fitness facilities on days when senior leaders would take their PT tests. He went on to explain that many senior leaders, like wing commanders, did not like to take their tests in front of a crowd. He recalled a time in his career when he was asked to administer a PT test to a high-ranking officer. The officer knew he was at great risk of failing the test, and so the Force Support Squadron closed the gym in order to allow all other users in order to allow the test to happen in private. The goal was to limit the number of individuals that might know about the senior leader's performance on the test in case he failed. I remember reacting strongly to that story. I was in a position to know that my wing commander, Colonel Paul Lyman, had aced his last fitness test, scoring a perfect 100%. After his performance, I had asked Colonel Lyman if he always did so well on the test. He told me that it was a personal best, and that while the test had never been an issue for him, that he'd been doubling down on his physical fitness since taking command of the wing. He shared that he wanted to practice what he preached. When I returned from that school, it was time for Colonel Lyman to take his annual PT test. He approached me to see if he could take the test with our student flight. He wanted to complete the test with our newest members when they did their monthly practice tests. On that drill morning, Colonel Lyman challenged our trainees, beat his score, and he'd coin them. I had the pleasure of watching Colonel Lyman destroy all but one of our youngsters. Our old wing commander did more push-ups, more sit-ups, and ran faster than 97% of those young airmen. That day was awesome. Colonel Lyman, thank you for setting an example of excellence in all we do and for leaving the lasting legacy of max effort. The airmen of the Wyoming Air National Guard wish you the very best as you hang up your uniform. Please don't be a stranger.
Thank you, Captain Stoneham. Colonel Lyman, please join General Porter at the center of the stage. General Porter will now present Colonel Lyman with the Legion of Merit. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Military members, attention to orders. The United States of America, to all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress, July 20th, 1942, has awarded the Legion of Merit to Colonel Paul S. Lyman for exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding services as Assistant Adjutant General, Air, Joint Forces Headquarters, Wyoming Air National Guard, Cheyenne, Wyoming. During this important assignment, Colonel Lyman displayed dynamic leadership and initiative while establishing a comprehensive officer framework for force management policies, mentorship, and developmental education for 190 officers. In addition, Colonel Lyman leveraged state activations of the Wyoming National Guard with a response time of less than 24 hours, supporting defense support of civil authorities. The ability to quickly respond was validated when the Wyoming Air National Guard was mobilized by the governor of Wyoming for 3 separate COVID-19 missions. Finally, Colonel Lyman provided expert oversight during the ongoing modernization of the C-130H fleet through a comprehensive propulsion upgrade, which increased performance, efficiency, and reliability by a minimum of 50%. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Lyman culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself, the Air National Guard, and the United States Air Force. Signed, Michael A. Lowe, Lieutenant General, USAF, Director, Air National Guard. At ease. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the official retirement of Colonel Paul Lyman. Attention to orders. Special order for Colonel Paul S. Lyman, Wyoming Air National Guard, Cheyenne, Wyoming, effective 31 December 2020. You are relieved from your present reserve assignment and retired per AFI 36-3203 and Title 10, United States Code, Section 8914, in the grade of Colonel. On the date retired of 1 January 21, you will be transferred to the retired reserve and your name will be placed on the United States Air Force by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. At ease. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. General Porter will now present Colonel Lyman's retirement certificate and letter of appreciation from the President of the United States. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. Paul S. Lyman, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of January of the year 2021. Signed, Charles Q. Brown, General, United States Air Force, Chief of Staff, and Michael A. Lieutenant General, Director, Air National Guard. Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, presented to Colonel Paul S. Lyman. I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. I trust that in the coming years, you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. I would like to invite Colonel Lyman's wife and family to join him on stage for the presentation of a well-deserved certificate of appreciation. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Jacqueline Lyman for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, Charles Q. Brown, General, United States Air Force, Chief of Staff, and Michael A. Lowe, Lieutenant General, Director, Air National Guard. Colonel Lyman would like to present his lovely family with bouquets of flowers to extend his appreciation for the many years of service and support Jackie has provided. Thank you, family members. You may now be seated. Colonel Lyman will now be presented the Wyoming state flag, which was flown over the state capitol on 8 September 2020. The Wyoming state flag, designed by Mrs. A.C. Keyes of Casper, formerly Miss Verna Keyes of Buffalo, was adopted by the 14th The colors of the state flag are the same as those of the national flag. The red border represents the Indian and the blood of the pioneers who gave their lives reclaiming the soil. White is the color of purity and uprightness over Wyoming. Blue, the color of the sky and mountains, is symbolic of fidelity, justice, and virility. At this time, we have a few presentations for Colonel Lyman. Major General Porter.
Hey, thanks. Just a couple of quick words, Sly. I mean, you know, when we often do these retirements after this time, the member really is not too excited about it. They'd rather just sort of ride off into the sunset. That is not Sly. He was really excited about it, as he should be. Over 30 years of service is tremendous accomplishment, and we should not take it for granted for all of those people that sacrifice that amount of time for their country and their state. And it's appropriate that we do that. But, you know, they'll tell you when it's time to retire, you'll know. And I think that was true in Sly's case, because just as we talked about it in the fall, once he made the decision, you know, he was there. It was good for him, and he decided that you know, his service was done. Not easy, but once he did, he made the commitment and made the decision. As I said, we can't take this service for granted, and that's why we do these ceremonies, partly to honor them, but partly to remind all of us that what you do is special, and appreciate so much the guests that we have here today, not only the family, but all the members of the National Guard that have gone before. You know, Kathy Wright, General Reiner, E-Man, you know, Linda, and General Rader, and all the folks that have served, that came back here just to make sure that that family feel and that service and that belonging is recognized. Because, you know, Sly won't miss coming to drill, but he will miss the people, and that's why he stayed and he served, was for the airmen that he led. And it's special that we get to recognize that today with you, Sly. We had a small presentation that we'd like to make. You know, serving in the Wyoming National Guard is special, and that state flag, I think, is special for Guardsmen. And so what we did, we had the flag that was flown over the Capitol inserted here. There's also a set of spurs and the coin that it's presented to Colonel Paul Lyman in recognition for his service here in the state of Wyoming. Paul, thank you.
Brigadier General Hughes.
Did anybody notice how quickly the General Porter and Airman Cohn were able to fold that flag that flown over the Capitol and put it in that case? Wasn't that amazing? Yeah. See, this is a fun part, like I told you before. So I have a few things for Sly. I'm going to save that one for last. There's a bag underneath there. This paper bag. So the story was true about the way he walked past me until he ignored me my first day in headquarters. But beyond that, some more Sly stories. And some of you probably either were on the receiving end of this or witnessed it. It seemed like no matter when Sly was ready to present a coin to somebody, he just didn't have it with him. And also one of my first drills, he sent me out to his car to get his coin so he could coin somebody. So I didn't think it was really appropriate for me to coin him with a coin that he's already coined people with, but I also felt it was appropriate because he never seemed to have a coin. So I like to coin him first. That's coming next. No, you're doing fine. You're doing a great job. I'm the one screwed it up. Okay, and then the second one is like a personal gift. So many of you may know that Colonel Porter and Jackie have a crash pad up here, and E-Man certainly knows it. But they've been very generous and hospitable, and nearly every UTA, I find my way over to the crash pad or the tree house, as E-Man referred to it. And E-Man started the tradition, I kind of carried it on, where we felt obligated that we should contribute something. So that something has normally been a bottle of decent bourbon. Well, what I didn't realize was Sly comes up here not just on drill weekends, and somehow either he leaves the cap off those bottles when I leave, and then it's really dry here, and they either evaporate, or sometimes the whole damn bottle disappears when I come back and it's gone. I was like, didn't I leave a bottle here? It's like, oh, I'm not really sure what happened there. But so I thought it'd be appropriate if I gave him a couple bottles of bourbon one last time to stock the crash pad before he closes that place on me. And the first one you'll have to hide from you, man. I know he's a New Riff fan. This is a local distillery where I live in Kentucky. And not only is it a single barrel, but it's a store pick from the one liquor store I frequent there. And then the second bottle, because one's never enough, is a bottle of Blanton's that we all tend to share when we get together. So maybe that'll be good for tonight. You don't need to take these, but I put them over. So the last one's a little more serious, I suppose, in that the one thing that is really cool in Wyoming, if you do a great job and a certain group of people, and I hear it's mostly rounded out by the chiefs in the wing, decide that you are worthy of this particular object, that it's presented to you at retirement, and that thing is the Wyoming brand, which if I get nothing else right while I'm in command, this is the one thing I'm going to try to get right. So I need to see the chiefs after this. The brand is registered with the state. It's an official brand, and it is the brand of the Wyoming National Guard, Air National Guard. And Sly specifically requested one of these. And I don't know if you guys are a fan of Yellowstone, the series, or not, but I am. So I wasn't quite sure that Sly deserved the brand. So I thought we should. All right, yeah, egg me on. I thought we'd take it to another. I thought we'd take it to another level today. CP really deserves the brand. So when you're ready.
Colonel Walrath?
Well, I've been in charge of giving you the famous bookend, which is almost as good as a brand. Barry Dybert did call me and he said, we're making this bookend for him, but I'm not really sure he reads. So they did try to make a cup holder for you, but it didn't work out. You know, the history of this bookend basically is that it signifies the end of a career, right, of a good career. And I think in basic training they give you the other bookend for that. I'm not sure if you still have that. I think probably in Colonel Lyman fashion he's probably lost it somewhere. But I don't know how. Openings, they made me an alternate, but I hung on for a while. You know, I've always followed, you know, a couple steps behind you throughout the career, and some of those things that you've achieved, I've not achieved, like the Splats Trophy. Did not get that. I mean, that was the #1 flying unit squadron in the Air Force, and that's just a huge one. I was kind of afraid too that if I did get that, I'd cut myself on it, so I didn't get that. It's not, you know, being a commander, and I think you've been a commander for over 12 years. Is that about right? Being a commander is not easy, and he has done this for half his career here at least, if not more. You know, and sometimes when you're a commander, you got to take all the bad news like he talked about, and oftentimes, you know, you don't get that there is that. No, it's difficult. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's hard. I thank you for being my boss for like the majority of the time that I've been here. You haven't yelled at me very much. I do remember that phone call I got from you when you invited AMC to come inspect the ops group. That was a good phone call that day. But you have sacrificed a ton of energy here, Colonel Lyman. It has been tough on you, and it's been tough on your family, and just your volunteerism, and I thank you for that. And I truly, I do think you read, but for that, I'm going to give you the book.
Colonel Dybert.
You might want to be. Oh, this is the beauty of it. I get to do a little roasting here myself. But hey, I appreciate being able to give you a couple things today. I get to give you a sticker to remind yourself you're a lifetime guardsman, and I get to give you a belt buckle, and then I get to talk about you for a few minutes. So I hope you can hear me. I'll try to get this mic away from more at a Dybert level instead of a Avery level. I thought about what I could say today because I've known Paul for a long time, and I was trying to find something I could say that could be appropriate on Facebook. So I've settled on one thing here, because and this is my why Sly story. So anybody know why Sly's Sly? They have no idea, do they? Nobody believes your nickname. But neither did I. So I'll take you back. When I first met Sly, I was in the parking lot. We were both in the parking lot at Little Rock Air Force Base. He was going out, I was going in. We both gave each other the evil eye because we had squadron patches on, and we looked at each other like, who are you? So we stopped, we turned, we walked back to each other. Sly walks up to me and says, "Hi, I'm Sly Lyman." And I thought, oh man, a fighter guy with a nickname. So, but we parted ways, and he went on his way, and I went my way, and then we get into 9/11. And we don't even hardly fly with each other between then and 9/11. But after 9/11, we get paired up at a crew. So off we go to Enduring Freedom, and I'm thinking to myself, flying out that morning, I'm going to spend I don't know how many months and hours and with this guy. I might as well start asking, why Sly? So Sly gives me all kinds of lame lies. I'm pretty sure they were lies, because none of them made sense. Well, this is why I'm Sly, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. So I didn't believe him until this one day. So we find ourselves broke, away from our home base, and we're not going to get back to the base that night. The good thing about it is we can go downtown, so we're all thrilled. So we're about ready to go get on a van and go downtown, and the Navy stops us and says, "Whoa, you can't go downtown without civilian clothes." So we're all a little frustrated, but a sailor walks up to us and says, "For $20 each, I can get you a shirt and pants." So, of course, we're desperate. It's either the Herky Hotel or base ops floor or $20 for pants and a shirt. So we all give him money, and off he goes. $140, and he's gone. We all think he's not coming back. But he does come back, doesn't he? And he has this bag, and in one bag it's collared polo shirts. We all got a collared polo shirt. In the other bag are jeans in name only and not necessarily gender specific. But we hand out the jeans, we hand out the polo shirts, if you remember that, right? And we all take our turns going upstairs. Now I have to set the stage. So we had to go upstairs to this little locker room. It's probably from here to across the hangar where those stairs are. There's a big platform at the top and a doorway that goes in, and then you go down the hallway to where the locker rooms are at. So we each do that, and we come down, and it's like a fashion show coming down, and I won't even describe what we looked like because it was awful. But Sly's the last one to go up. So we're all waiting down there, and I'm probably sitting about in this little bench about from here to that wall, waiting for Sly to make his appearance. And time goes on, tick, tick, tick. It's like, come on, buddy, let's go. The taxi's here. So I'm just about ready to get up and go find him. And he comes out on the platform. Now, I was going to describe this next thing, but I think actually it's better if I just give you an idea. So I hope this works. Oh, no, it's not going to work for me. I'm going to have to describe it. I love it when the internet doesn't work in the hangar. Oh, you're lucky, dude. All right, so I won't even do that. So out comes Sly, and out of the corner of my eye, what I want you to imagine, because we got enough people that are old enough to see this, Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta, opening credits. And the song that was playing was the Bee Gees, Staying Alive. And remember how John Travolta walks. So Sly comes out on that platform, and he slips his hair back, and down he comes, and he's got the walk. And it's just like he's listening to the Bee Gees. I mean, down the stairs he comes. And about the time he hits the bottom of the stairs, I noticed something different about Sly. And I'm thinking, he looks different than me. And I couldn't quite figure out what it was. And he just kept coming closer to me, and he's just like, you know, a light-haired John Travolta coming right at me. And all I could look at was something's wrong with Sly. He gets about halfway to me, and I'm like, that guy's wearing khaki pants. Where did he get khaki pants? So I got all kinds of stuff running around in my head thinking, man, what poor Navy guy gave up his khaki pants for Sly? And he keeps coming closer and closer and closer, and I'm in this Bee Gees fog because I'm just in awe. I mean, he's just walking like John Travolta, coming at me. And he gets right up to me, and he stops about from me to him, and he says, "Hey, Bear, you ready to go?" And all of a sudden, Bee Gee fog goes away. My my focus comes in, and I look down, and right about here I see a zipper. And then I see a zipper. And then I see a zipper. And I thought, oh my gosh. He just rolled his flight suit down, because if you remember in those days we had brown khaki flight suits. So he rolls it down perfectly out his waistline, covers it with the collared shirt like we all had, and he's passing it off as brown khaki pants. And at that moment I said, he's sly. I knew it. No matter what excuse you had, you were sly from that moment on for me. Oh, you could tell that story later. But anyway, I've got 3 things for you. Hey, we've been good friends a long time, and I really appreciate guidance, mentoring, the beating me, literally dragging me out of retirement. I mean, everything you did for me, I can't say enough. So I'm gonna put my mask back on, give you this, and then I got a couple more things. So this is just my. And this is in your tradition of it's not quite here yet.
Not quite here yet. Still in the manufacturing.
This is a buckle from the wing staff, some of the senior leaders, and also the joint force headquarters senior leaders. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Colonel Monroe.
I don't have any big stories or anything like that, but I did want to say on behalf of the maintenance group and everything that you have done from your time in operations to wing command to joint force headquarters, all of the support you have given us in getting our, the new props and planes and our modifications and everything else. We want to thank you for all your hard work for us, and hopefully we gave that back to you, and appreciate everything you've done.
Colonel Gagnon.
Well, sir, for those of you whose glasses have fogged up like mine did, I'm not Colonel Shad, but I have the honor of representing him and the operations group as we say thank you for everything you've done. And I know as the Assistant Adjutant General, you're not allowed to say who your favorite group is, but now that you're retired, we can go back to acknowledging that the operations group is your favorite. They'll get to come up and do their own thing. But seriously, sir, it's been an honor working with you. Your leadership and your mentorship has meant a lot to me personally. So I'm very glad that Colonel Shad is holed up in a hotel room in Hawaii and can't be here.
so that I can present these things to you. But again, sincerely, thank you for everything.
Are there any other presentations to be made?
I just wanted to acknowledge three things that make this kind of a special guy. And I met him as Major Sly in Long Beach, California at the Nagas Conference. And so as a junior officer, he was a sponge, ready to learn about another aspect of the organization that's an important thing and willing to support that. I want to acknowledge his support of his wife and seeing him at rodeo events because she has a leadership position in the Greeley Stampede. So we're kind of compadres with Cheyenne Frontier Days. And lastly, I want to thank him. And I'm doing this as a civilian that's here, representing civilian employers, but also Army and Air service members. I want to thank him for helping open up the wing again so that our ESGR volunteers could come and make presentations and educate our airmen. Because as we have become a more operational force, we all know that that's a burden on our civilian employers. And so I just want to thank Paul Sly, Major Colonel Lyman, for being a great guy.
I don't know, sir. So this is a little bittersweet. We kind of came into this a little together at Joint Force Headquarters, and then we ended up being in a Leadership Wyoming class together. And I got a slide type story, but I don't think I'll tell it. But I will say that it involves a radar detector, and I told you so. But he still didn't get a ticket. So I'll leave it at that. But it was a good one. So I got 2 coins here for you. The first one is my personal coin I want to give you for being a great leader and a wingman for me, to make sure that, you know, a new command chief straight out of a squadron, giving me some great advice and when I needed to tread a little lighter than I was attempting to. So you really helped me out, especially in that first year in this position, and I just want to personally say thank you for that. I appreciate that. The second coin comes with probably the best story that I have, and it's a story just from today. So it's my normal state numbered coins that I give out for excellent service. But I'm walking up, so I'm running around. It's drill weekend, doing my thing. And I'm running up to get to the office to grab a bite to eat before I have to head back over here. And Senior Master Sergeant Ayers runs up to me. She goes, "Chief, I've been looking for you everywhere." I'm like, "Okay, well, what do you need?" And she goes, "Here, you need to give this coin to Colonel Lyman today, because they're numbered, and it had the number 88 on it. And she knew that was the year you joined the Air Force. And she goes, this is the coin you need to give him." So that just speaks volumes, the respect you have from the enlisted airmen of the Wyoming Military Department, Wyoming Air National Guard. So thank you, sir, for taking care of us, doing your thing, being a friend and great leader. Thank you.
Are there other presentations to be made today? Thank you for those beautiful presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated for a special flag folding presentation by the Wyoming Air National Guard Honor Guard team. The flag folding ceremony represents the same religious principles on which our country was originally founded. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue containing the stars, representing states our veterans served in uniform. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted only when draped as a pall on a casket of a veteran who has served our country honorably in uniform. The first fold of our flag is the symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in the eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of a veteran departing our ranks, who gave a portion of life for the defense of our country and to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is in Him we turn to in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it still is our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold reminds us of the 6 battle-weary fighters who valiantly struggled to the top of Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima during World War II. Once there, they proudly raised above the battle our flag, the symbol that we all hold dear, the symbol of freedom, democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is our duty to defend the flag, which stands for them all. The seventh fold is for where our hearts lie. It's with our hearts that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country, since he or she was first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of a Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God We Trust." For unfailing and loyal service to the Wyoming Air National Guard, we entrust you with this flag. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce to you for the first time Colonel Paul S. Lyman, retired.
Okay, I guess this may be the last Sly story, officially retired, but I feel like Forrest Gump up here who like drank 10 Dr. Peppers. So I literally drank like 3 bottles of water before I got up here, and I really got to go to the bathroom. So we're going to take like an intermission break. I'll never get through my words. They're going to be short, I promise you that, but I got to go to the bathroom. So
this part was not in the script, I promise you. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the Wyoming National Guard are proud to have served with Colonel Paul Lyman, and we wish him and his family every success in their future endeavors. We thank him for his dedicated service and his contributions to this great nation. I understand a few remarks, sir.
Yes. Oh, man. It must be a Lyman thing because my brother was in there with me. I'll tell you what. Hey, really, thank you all so much. I mean, there's so many of you here. COVID, we had to limit this to 100 people, and I have so many people that have come from a long ways away. And really, I am so filled with gratitude that you're all here. I mean, and you all served with me. I really have had an amazing Air Force career, and the Air Force has been good to me. I've really done some incredible things. I've seen the world. I've made the best friends, and really, you know, the success I've had in the military is it's not me. I mean, it takes a huge team. I mean, and I'm going to thank my family here in a little bit, but family, friends, civilian family, mentors, you guys are all here in the audience, other commanders. Thank you so much. I mean, it really, it truly means the world to me. I'm going to keep it short. It's probably going to be a little longer now because I just went to the bathroom, but I am going to try to keep this short because it's been a really long day already. It's, you know, I keep looking at my watch in an hour and a half, and I'm conscious of the time, so I'm going to try to make this very quick, and I know the acoustics are bad out there, so I will hopefully keep it as short as I can. But it is a 32-year career, and I was called out on a couple things, so I do want to tell maybe one or two stories. Do that, and you killed it. So good job on that. The 32-year career was really almost two separate, distinct careers. I had a flying career, which I loved, and then I had a leadership career, which I also loved, and they almost perfectly divided into two and kind of crossed over in between. Before I forget, I do want to say thank you to Jackie. You know, without your support, I mean, you really probably pushed me. You were my biggest fan. Because of you and because of Matt and Kylie, you really made this happen. And with that, the family that's sitting right there behind you guys, those years that I was gone deployed and I was away, you guys all really stepped up and helped out and made things happen, so I really do appreciate that. I wasn't going to say this. I literally, legitimately have like a 30-minute speech, and I'm going to try to really cut it down as quick as I can. But I do want to say this. So why I joined the Air Force. You know, growing up, Dale and I, we weren't poor, but we certainly didn't have money, and we never flew. Whenever we went somewhere, we always drove. And the first time I flew in an airplane, I don't remember what it was. I was a teenager. I think it might have been our grandfather's funeral. I flew in an airplane, and I got a window seat, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is the coolest thing. And I looked in front, and there's these people in the cockpit, now flight deck, and said, they pay people to do this? I would love to do this someday. I had a dad who was in the Army, smart guy, 100% disabled veteran. He said, boys, if you ever join the service, you're going to join the Air Force. I mean, he's brilliant, right? I do love I like to give my Army guys a little heck. My brother was in ROTC. I always looked up to him. He, incredibly, he took a firefighting test when he was in college and passed, and he was like the youngest ever to get with the fire department, youngest ever, lieutenant, captain, and now he's a fire chief there in Greeley. So, but he inspired me. And then there was this little-known movie that came out when I was in college. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. Matt and Kylie, you ever hear of it? It was not Saturday Night Live. It was Top Gun, of course, right? So it's like Top Gun. And it was the Navy, and I couldn't swim. So I'm like, I'll make it happen. My brother's in the ROTC, so I joined ROTC. Went to flight school, worked really hard, was fortunate enough to get assigned fighters. I wanted the F-15E, but I didn't get it. Got the F-111. For those of you that don't know, the F-111 is the fastest fighter and really the second fastest airplane besides the SR-71 on the planet. So it was an amazing, amazing aircraft. We went to Mountain Home, went to training there for 6 months, and I will tell you that Mountain Home, The name is false advertising because it's in a valley and it has sagebrush the size of Volkswagens, and it's not that homey. So went there for 6 months, and then we went to Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. And I'll tell you, that assignment, the 522 Fireballs, it was like the movie Top Gun, except, no beach. We were in New Mexico. But for me, I flew with guys like Hawk, Crack, Seymour Butts, Dollar Bill, Scooter, and we worked hard every day to be the best we could be, and they tracked you on your bomb dropping scores, and the better bomb dropper you were, you became the top gun of the squadron, and if you were the top gun of the squadron, then you got to go to wing turkey shoots and do that, and I love that. We had squadron parties, road rallies, ski trips, mountain biking, camping. It was an amazing time. And I will say, if you go to the party later, I've got a slideshow, and it has all this stuff in it. Red flags at Nellis, that's a huge exercise. Maple flags. And I will tell you that in the F-111, I went supersonic several times, but one time with a squadron commander, I tell you the story. I was a lieutenant. We went like super duper duper sonic. I mean, we were so fast. We went so fast that we literally melted the paint off the outside of the airplane. And if that was 2 lieutenants, we would have been grounded, but because it was a squadron commander, we were fine. After that, Korea bad, all right? No fly, no USA, no family, and horrible job. But a couple good things. Matt, you were made in Korea, so congratulations. I was able to start and finish the master's degree. We did go to the DMZ where Trump went. We got to see North Korea. Great pictures of Jackie there. And I did get to learn what an ammo bowl was. And I could show you the picture. Then we went to Luke Air Force Base. Luke, hot, F-15E, extremely hard. Extremely hard. I worked really hard to master that airplane. Then we went to Seymour Johnson. Again, Seymour Johnson was like Top Gun, the sequel. And I got a buddy here from Seymour. So Hoover, Malf, Santa, Q, Meat, Dollar again, Salty, same stuff. Top Gun, turkey shoots. Hoover and I actually, we say we're better lucky than good, but we killed it on a turkey shoot one time. We won the whole damn thing, so it was pretty awesome. Red flags again, Iraqi deployments, couple more bucket lists besides going really, really super fast. I was with Mark Weiser, call sign Bud Weiser. See, we're brilliant in the fighter community. We locked up a MiG, didn't get to shoot him down because he didn't come south of the no-fly zone, but I did lock up a MiG. I did pull 9Gs. It hurts your body really bad when you pull 9Gs. And I was able to go 50,000 feet, so I think technically I'm an astronaut, but I'm not sure. Space cadet, yeah, I am. I am that. More red flag deployments, and I'll tell you this one story. So this, again, squadron parties, beach trips, Jimmy Buffett concerts. Quick funny story. Maybe it's not funny, but so we're at Seymour Johnson. We all think we're really cool. The Air Force is like, hey, you're going to do this proving concept. We're going to come in. You're going to fly the planes. You're going to go over to the Middle East. 14 hours. You're going to hit 4 tankers. You're going to get into crew rest, and then you're going to go out and you're going to bomb some targets. So that was the proving concept. We were going to do that. It's going to be great. We're going to be on the Air Force magazine, Air Force Times. And one of these guys, and it was not my idea, they go, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we're going to be these Viking gods, these big Norwegian gods? We're going to dye our hair blonde, we're going to get tan, we're going to work out, and it's going to be amazing. So, but we can't do it until right before we go because the leadership, they'll yell at us. So we're going to do it right the night before we go. So we go. One of the wives is like, okay, yeah, I can dye your hair. So we get the dye, dyes our hair, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm like, mine's kind of orange. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's gonna get way, as you go to sleep, it'll blonde right up. Not a problem. You guys are gonna be Viking gods. So I wake up the next morning and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, it's even more orange than it was before. And I'm like, everyone else is gonna be a Viking god and I'm gonna be this orange-headed freak. I didn't want to go to work, but we're going. I mean, the mission is happening, and we're in the proving concept. There's a 3-star general there ready to see us off. And there's at least 8 of us. I show up in the squadron, 7 other guys, bright orange hair. So it went from the Viking God deployment to the redheaded stepkid deployment. So we killed it on the mission. There was not one photo of any of us except for the photos we took. My biggest, I'd like to say personal accomplishment in flying, that squadron, they had an award that they would name a pilot and a Wizzo the Air Crew of the Year, and that's the one person that they wanted to most go to war with. And right before I left, they, for some reason, named me Air Crew of the Year. I worked really hard, but super smart people, super talented, and I felt really fortunate that I was named Air Crew of the Year there. Time to get out of the Air Force, came to Wyoming. It's kind of weird. Like, I interviewed you. The guy that interviewed me was Steve Rader, and I followed in his footsteps. He was the ATAG Air before me. So Steve Rader interviews me, hires me, come in, and it's a great 3 years. I get to see the world, South America. C-130 flying is awesome because it's tactical, and you get to go see places and do really cool stuff besides flying in the airplane. So I loved it. Then 9/11 happened, Barry. I got crewed with you, and that's where, every story you said is absolutely 100% true. I will tell you one quick, we got a lot of great war stories. So this one war story, we go in, we fly into Bagram, no one else can get in, C-17 can't get in, huge mountains, we land, there's this VIP there, and they go, hey, we got a VIP, you guys got to take him out. And oh, by the way, at the same time, there's some ground fire happening out, everything. This guy gets on and they go, who is he? I don't know, this senator from Delaware. And I was like, senator from Delaware? I go, I think that guy got caught, plagiarizing a speech and, lying about his record. He ran for president and lost. I go, but I got to get his autograph. So I run down there, get his autograph. Senator Joe Biden. These guys are all laughing at me. Why would you want to get that guy's autograph? Well, there you go, President Biden. See, you never know. Our loadmaster goes, hey, Senator, buckle up tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride out of here. There's some shooting. Keep your head down. And Biden goes, oh, my God, what are we going to do? And Dirty Dave Williams, our loadmaster, ever the politician, he goes, we're going to get the F, but he said F-U-C-K, out of here. What do you think we're going to do? So that was his way of talking to Biden. Flew with Barry, 4 months combat. Denny Grunstad, God bless you. You sent me up to Kyrgyzstan. It's not Kazakhstan, where Borat is. It's Kyrgyzstan, right next door. So I went up to Kazakhstan, helped set up a base there with General Reed, who at the time was Colonel Reed. Became another great mentor of mine, and that was an awesome time. On the redeployment home, we literally, these guys are awesome. They go, hey, if you want to get home early, 2 days, we'll fly the planes back west. But if you want to fly around the world in a C-130, it'll take 2 extra days. You can go east. You can do it. And there was 2 airplanes of us. Guess which one I'm going to do? I'm going to go around the world. Same with Barry. It's like, hell yeah, we're going around the world. So I got to do that. Break, career 1 over, career 2, 187th Airlift Squadron. I had all the right book answers when I interviewed for the job, but man, I was horrible. I was completely horrible when I first took over as squadron commander. I had some great enlisted people that really helped me. Roger Wollington, Bob Coble, Mike Sorensen, he's probably the most negative guy on the planet. Cal Fogg, Scotty Withers, Tommy Lofton, and then he was a little bit younger, Exie Brown. He really helped me out. Spatch Trophy, and I'm almost 50 minutes. Okay, I gotta go faster. Spatch Trophy, okay, so here it is. We win the Spatch Trophy, it's awesome. It's this trophy, it's on a wooden plaque, it's a hand, it's holding a globe. I'm so excited, I wanna get in front of the wing. Denny's like, hey, present this in front of the wing, because it's a whole team effort, not just flying, and it's true, and I wanted to get up there, and I had all this in my mind. It's gonna be great, I've got this great speech planned out, and it was this damn stage, which, by the way, I fell off this morning in the practice as well. So the last step is just a little bit higher than the other steps. And, I've got it, man. I'm the conquering hero. I'm going to charge up, and I'm going to present this thing. And I, full speed, go up, and the last step catches my boot, the very tip of my boot, and I launch forward. I mean, I'm launched. Long enough that I'm thinking about it as I'm flying in the air. And this is a true story, right? You guys saw this. And I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I can either save myself or save the trophy. So I go, I got to save the trophy. And I'm trying to land and hold the trophy, but just like a receiver that drops the ball, I drop the trophy at the very end. The crystal hand, it doesn't shatter, but the hand and the ball separate. And now the wind's knocked out of me. And if you've ever heard 1,000 people gasp at one time simultaneously, and the looks on their faces, it is something to behold. The trophy now, or the ball is rolling off the stage, and I have to lunge. I'm like, I can't let that globe break. I lunge at it, and I get it with my hand as the wind's knocked out of me. And now it's like, wind's knocked out of me. I have it in my hand. I go to Denny. God bless you, Denny. And I'm like, gather what's left of the trophy up. And I don't even know what I said. I'm like, ugh. And as I look, the globe now, I've got like multiple cuts in my hand, and I just have blood gushing down there. So now I've got this bloody globe. So it was spectacular. Yeah, we took him. I quickly rushed to the medical group, the clinic, and I see the old state air surgeon, Doc Batson, brilliant doctor. I go, and he's like, holy cow, that's really cut. You might need stitches. And I'm like, gee, thanks, Doc. Well, you know, great assessment. Thankfully, there's nurses there. They took me back, washed me up. I think they put super glue on it, and they fixed my hand. Got to lead a flying squadron in combat, awesome. Got to lead the mission support group, my favorite group. Thank you, Denny Grunstad, for hiring me for the mission support group. I did not know what it took to run an organization until I ran or helped run that organization. And I had the best deputy that I could ever ask, Pete Lindy, so God bless you. Brother from another mother. You were phenomenal, and we did a great job. Vice Wing Commander for three Wing Commanders. That's the best job in the world. Not so much for Wing Commander. I do want to say this. As the Wing Commander, thank you, General Reiner. Thank you, Colonel Grunstad Rader and General Porter for supporting me. I want to just give a couple quick shout outs and I'll be done. Great team. Dave Herder, thank you. Thank you very much. Great advice. Rusty Ridley, Gabe Fruscia, Victoria Lopez, Swing Home, and Chris Smith. Again, thank you for supporting me. Great enlisted command chief Mike Abbott and Darren Nogel. I had great group commanders. They did a great job for me. And then really quickly, at Joint Force Headquarters, I want to shout out to Gallegos, Hundell, Allen, Lopez, Ramler, Ayers, Elliott. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of you guys, but you guys really helped support me. And as they said, I'm a friggin' train wreck as far as like coins and all I can say that now, I guess, right? I'm retired. So they really just helped keep me in focus, keep me in line, which is awesome. And I will say this. Command is lonely. And the higher up you go, the lonelier you get, and the more protected you get, and the more IG complaints and investigations, I guess, you're under. You get very protected. So you're always protected. You're always very close. You know, 4 people really saved me and kept my sanity. And first, E-Man, Eric Man, thank you, brother. You kept me sane. Followed by another great hire, General Hughes, Gene Hughes. You did a great job doing the same. You were like a fill-in, 1A, 1B. You guys did great, keeping me sane. Chris Smith, all these years, 12 years as a commander, thank you for your legal advice. And then finally, Jeff Story, you, again, Doc, you kept me sane. I'm going to close with this because it's been forever and we need to go. Just remember, freedom, we talked about it, but freedom isn't free. And sometimes we pay with our lives, we pay with our limbs, and I'm going to try not to break up as I talk about this, but my final salute, protocol says you don't salute the flag when they present it to you. You just take it. But I decided to salute the flag, and I did it for a number of reasons, and these are for all the brothers that I lost. while serving on active duty and in the Guard. First one is Doug Brandt. He was in my F-111 training class. 6 months after we graduated, he was in the Gulf War I. Mirage came down, tapped him. They tried to evade, and they ran their F-111 into the ground, and they did not make it. The second one is Jerry Lind. He was my crewmate. So when you go to a course, you're together. It's like Maverick and Goose. You know, you're one each guy. So the pilot I was with for 6 months, he came to our house. You know, ate dinner with us, gave us a Christmas ornament. We hang it up every year. Jerry, he passed in a accident in Upper Hayford. So that was hard on me. All right, I got to refocus. Okay. Jeff Flounder, he was a baby Wizzo in our squadron. He died in an aircraft accident at Mountain Home in the F-15E. Brian Adrian, I was a squadron commander. He got hired as a PJ. Great guy. His heart just didn't make it in training. So PJ is like a Navy SEAL, but in the Air Force. Ian Macbeth, I hired Ian as a navigator and as a pilot, and Ian didn't pass in a military aircraft, but last year in Australia, he passed in a MAFS firefighting accident. The last one that perished is Salty Watkins, a great friend of ours, Hoover. That's the last time I saw you, was at his funeral. Salty died in Gulf War II. You know, sometimes the bad guys just get a lucky shot and they got him. And then the last one, this is going to be the hardest, is my dad. Okay. He all right, I got to get this out. He died when I was 21. All right. He died when I was 21. My brother was 23, and World War II vet, lost his right arm, gave his right arm for this country, and not only did he do that, but I just found out last week, I looked through stuff, and he was a Bronze Star with Valor winner, recipient. So he was absolutely a war hero. Great guy. I know he's watching. I know he's proud of you. I hope he's proud of me. With that, sad note, happy note is we'll be drinking cocktails later on today. But thank you all so much for being here. Long ceremony. I'm truly humbled and honored to have done this amazing career and chosen this amazing profession. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the departure of the official party. This concludes our ceremony. I would like to invite you all to come forward to congratulate Brigadier General Hughes on his new position and Colonel Lyman on his retirement. Thank you for attending today.